I've seen a trend going around where your outfit should consist of a single solid color and that's it. Yep, you just wear one color and then you go out, parade about. I don't know. No, it's a real trend. It's a real thing that I've seen other people do. It's definitely not just a cover-up for the fact that I haven't done laundry in 3 months and this is all I have to clean. Nope. This is a real trend. So, feel free to be a part of the trend too. Go out and wear a single solid color clothing. It's fine. It's fun even. It's really cool. You get to be a part of the trend. You get to be a part of something. It's great. It's cool. You get to be a part of the trend and being part of things. I know you like being a part of things. That's for sure. And you get to wear a single solid color. It's really cool. Please just be a part of this. Actually, please do it!
Speaking of trends, you know what else has trends?
The stock market.
Literally everything. We see trends in music and movies and clothes and food and cars and technology and
pencils and street signs and carpets and fingernails and reading stupid lists and...
Trends are really an inevitability more than anything. I mean, we as humans are always on the hunt to be exactly the same as every other human. Wow, you're telling me everyone else is buying moldy bread? Well, sign me the hell up!
I hate my species.
Was that all I'm good for? Today we're going to discuss specifically trends in the field of video games. See, when a new idea becomes incredibly popular, what follows is a wave of people shamelessly copying it.
Hey, my entire personality is shamelessly copying other people.
But now trends aren't inherently a bad thing. For example, with each new console generation, the consoles become progressively more powerful and innovative, or video game controllers have evolved to a point where they all share a pretty similar design. These are good trends. It's pretty much expected for a new console to be more powerful than its predecessor, and if controllers were all completely different from each other, I might have to finally use this picket sign I've had in my trunk for the past 4 months.
Trends in video games are weird because it's just interesting to see what ideas really take off and what ideas developers think are actually worth pursuing. Like, making 3D games. Can you believe people were stupid enough to think that was an actually good idea?
I swear, as soon as consoles became powerful enough to run games in 3D, every single company dropped the idea of 2D games like a piece of burnt toast. I'm serious, like the late 90s and early 2000s were filled to the brim with 3D games that may or may not have aged the best graphically or gameplayly. Now, obviously this was just due to a lack of power and hardware, and 3D still being a new concept. But I mean, obviously everyone was going to try their hand at it. It was just the next logical step for gaming. And I mean, there were already examples of games trying to do 3D before consoles could actually really do 3D. So naturally, when consoles could actually really produce 3D graphics for real, everyone was automatically on board.
And you know what? I appreciate that. I'm glad we got the gross learning phase with 3D out of the way fast because we've got some truly incredible 3D games that just would not have been as good if companies started developing games in 3D yesterday. So now we can move on and focus on more important things. Like motion controls.
With the 7th generation of consoles, Nintendo decided to piss all over the idea of making a hardcore gaming machine and instead gave us this heartbreaker, the Nintendo Wii. This is really when Nintendo decided that they could start doing whatever the f*** they want and people will still eat it up. And so instead of an actual controller, they gave us a stick and told us to go wild. And that's not even an exaggeration. The Wii's primary gimmick was having motion controls in practically every game released for it. The Wii Remote was designed to be swung around relentlessly. And so, like any seemingly terrible idea, this was an incredibly successful idea. So many people that never bought video game consoles before bought a Wii for just how different an idea it was. And it ended up selling over 100 million units. So naturally, Sony and Microsoft looked at the success of the Wii and said, yeah, we could do that too. And then they both ended up releasing embarrassments. Sony released the PlayStation Move in 2010 as an accessory for the PlayStation 3, and it was really just so that PlayStation 3 owners could have a Wii-like experience. Because let's be honest, after buying a PlayStation 3, you will not have enough money for another console. But I don't think anybody wanted to buy a PlayStation 3 because of the Move, because, I mean, why not just buy a Wii? But Microsoft, on the other hand, released the Kinect, which actually was a unique idea. No controllers at all, you just use your body to control games. This was a different and separate enough idea from the Wii that it actually gave people a reason to buy an Xbox 360. But with all three of these consoles, there was a lot of trying to appeal to casuals, non-video game players. It was a trend that kind of lasted until the 8th generation of consoles, and then at that point, I don't think anyone really cared anymore. For the casuals, the novelty of having a game played with a waggle stick was wearing off and it just wasn't exciting anymore. And the hardcore fans were tired of seeing so many casual games and barely any games that they actually wanted to play.
And if I'm being honest, I completely understand why this worked. I mean, it was a new concept for everybody, and it was a super simple idea to understand. And I am more happy that this became a trend more than annoyed, because it gave us one of the funniest controllers ever created. Like, I want to eat this.
Of course, there have also been specific genres of games that get milked to death by everyone. Like, there was a huge 3D platformer craze in the late 90s thanks to a relatively small game called Super Mario 64. But we already talked about that. But if we jump forward a few years to where the internet is a thing that exists and people actually use it on a daily basis to look up what color clouds are,
don't worry, they're still white.
We see the rise of user-created content. With sites like YouTube, you can now post whatever the hell you want on the internet, and the best part is, other people will watch it. I got no clue what is happening here, but I am a big fan. And of course, something that was very popular to be uploaded to the internet was playing video games, because of course it was. But because of this, people could be introduced to games they've never heard of, and being able to watch someone else play a game, it's just interesting to see someone else's experience with it. But the thing is, every once in a while there will be a huge surge in a specific genre of games that people like to watch. For example, in the early 2010s, horror games were huge on the internet. There really wasn't one specific game. I guess people just like watching other people scream. And then after that died, the Battle Royale genre became insanely popular for a little bit. Because, I don't know, people like watching other people suffer through monotony or something.
That's just a few examples. Obviously, there are plenty more examples of trends in video games.
Handheld gaming, imagine being able to take your video games anywhere. Sounds great. How about everyone tries it? But at that point, you might as well use your phone because of all the main developers have some sort of mobile games out there, like Sonic and Mario and Crash Bandicoot and Sonic and Pac-Man and Pokemon and Sonic and the Final Fantasy games are being sold for prices that shouldn't even be allowed on phones. And holy shit, Sega, there are so many Sonic mobile games. Please calm down. Am I the only one who feels like there was a really short span of time where every franchise got rebooted, like late 2000s, early 2010s? It just feels like every single developer all had the exact same idea at the exact same time and just decided to reboot their franchises. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I'm just saying it's weird. Or what about when we randomly saw a huge boost in indie games? Nowadays, we see so many phenomenal games made by smaller teams, which is just really cool because we didn't used to have that, but it's absolutely just because of the introduction of digital game stores on consoles where it's just easy to slap a game on there for $20 without having to worry about physical releases. And how about that retro game boom? Yeah, it sounds like people got really nostalgic over old games, so we got re-releases and reimaginings and merchandise, and it's really just fun to see companies bring back old shit instead of making new shit.
It could be worse. We could be getting exclusively visual novels. So really anything could be a trend, and there will always be new trends. I know it's kind of annoying when everyone jumps on a single bandwagon, and it's fine at first, but after a while it gets annoying and you just want anything else to talk about. But good things can come out of them, and it's also okay if you want to jump on whatever bandwagon's out and about at the moment. Of course, if you're one of the people who does not stick to the trends very much, then you're probably wondering, how do the trends end? Well, I got bad news for you. They don't.
Okay, that's a lie, but what it really comes down to is just time. You sort of just have to wait it out, and how long you have to wait varies depending on what's currently trending. Sometimes it'll be over in a few months, other times it can take a few years. It really just depends. And then a new trend will start, and I kind of touched on it before, but whatever becomes the next trendy thing is really up to the consumer. Especially nowadays, where everything that happens ever is shared the millisecond it happens, so the majority of people could gravitate to whatever thing they think is cooler a lot faster. And then at that point, more companies start to make more of whatever's trending, and then more companies pile on top of that and give their own spin on it. And then it's just a cycle. Something becomes popular, it stays popular for a bit, and then people stop caring and go find something else to care about for the next 30 seconds.
Here's the thing, the term trend itself has a lot of negative connotations surrounding it. Sometimes people just like to hate on other people that like something that's popular just because it's popular, but half the time these people haven't even tried the popular thing. It just makes everyone else feel bad because sometimes you get bored and you just end up taking it out on everyone else. So my final words to you will be, If you like something, that's cool. You're allowed to like it. Just don't be a dick about it. If you don't like something, that's also cool. You're allowed to not like things. Just don't be a dick about it. Except for my trend. You're not allowed to not like my trend. Come on, this thing's gonna take over the world any second now. You don't want to be the one person that hated on the solid color clothing trend. Okay, fine! I made the whole thing up! It's not gonna blow up! I've never seen anyone else do this before, and I did just forget to do my laundry! And I'm super embarrassed that the only clothes I had left were green! Except that's not even true either! My socks are white!